Michael College.
How long were your studies at Michael? 3 years?
3 years,
Okay.
3 years, right, 3 years. And during this period, though, I was sort of formalizing my love life, really, which had started,
At Michael, you're
yeah, a few years before that. I met this young lady on a bus which was taking us to Denby. At that time, I was still attending elementary school. So I was representing not just Yellas Elementary School, but the parish. And she was representing not just Wilmington School, but the parish. And so we traveled on that bus to Denby for the 4-H Club achievement. Yes. And so we met that way on the bus, and then we were at Denby together, and I was bold enough to invite her out. You know, there was Denby's in nearby, and that was a famous place to go while at Denby,
Denby.
Denby Inn.
Denby Inn.
Inn,
Okay, okay, okay.
yes, for any entertainment, apart from what is taking place on Denby ground itself. And so she agreed, but I wasn't even sure if she really meant it,
Right.
because she looked so formal and
No
no,
nonsense.
right, no nonsense type of person.
Right.
Anyhow, that evening in particular, when I was to take her out, I went to Denby's Inn first to view the place, to see what it was like and so on. And then I came back over and I went up to the dorm for her. And yes, she was there waiting. And even with her house mother too, as if her house mother was, encouraging her to go out with me. And so we went to Denby's Inn. And we were dancing. In those days, it was blues, and they had a type of dance that they call it Ketchy Shubi.
Ketchishubi.
Yes, where still a part of blues, where you would spin the lady and you let her go, and she spins around and you grab her again, and you go. But in dances regularly, you know, regularly in dance hall,
Yes.
you have to be careful when you do that,
Yes.
because when you let her go, somebody around the corner would just stretch out his hand and
And
grab
grab her
her
and continue.
and continue. And in those days, we didn't mind it. We didn't fuss over it.
Right.
We didn't quarrel or fight or anything. We just laugh and take it. So when you're doing Ketchy Shube dance, there's a skill in it that when you let her go, you have to go around quickly
To catch
to
her.
catch her. Yes, so we're doing that. Well, at Denby, we dance and dance, and I was observing the time, although I was wearing a watch that I borrowed from somebody to go Denby. I wasn't observing it at all the time. And when we realized it was late in the night, and it was long after lights out. And we tried to hurry away from Denby's Inn, but when we get to the gate, it was locked.
Oh.
It was locked, a big, heavy, iron gate. I don't know if that gate is still there to get into Denby. And so we had to climb the gate. And so I push her up, and then she climbed, and I help her up to the top. And then I climb up, and we're on top of the gate, way up there. And then to go down now, it wasn't so easy to go down. I don't remember what was there, but some obstacle or the other. Anyhow, reached the top, I helped her, and she was able to jump down inside, and then I got down behind. And we were a bit worried now, because we say if the dorm door was locked and nobody there to open it,
That
what
would be
would we do?
mm-hmm.
Because she couldn't come where I
Right,
stay.
right.
But when we reached there, who was at the door waiting? The house
The
mother.
host mother.
Yes, I was happy for her and ready to receive her back.
So you didn't get in trouble per se.
No,
Okay.
no. And so it was. That was Denby. That was a few years before Michael. And so when I was at Michael, in my second year, I think, that same young lady came into Michael as a student. And so we were now sort of, I put it this way, formalizing, but there were other girls there too,
Right,
and one or two seemed interested too.
right.
And so you sort of, you know,
Explore.
yes, and you're wondering if you should do eeny, meeny,
Meeny, miny,
miny,
mo.
mo thing. And then I don't know, there was a lecturer there, a good lecturer, R.A. Shirley. He knew everything that happened on campus. I don't know how, but he knew. And he related well with students. And he came up there one night in my room while we were there. And he said, "No, young Bogle, there's something you need to tell me. I heard two young ladies competing for you, and at Michael, we are honorable people, and you need to, specify what your intention is." So he asked of the two of them which one. So I told him that the preference was for Pearline, my current wife, and
And Pearline was the same girl that you went to
then Bizin.
Denby's in with.
Right, yes.
Right.
And so the he was pleased with my answer, really.
Right.
And so we continued in college that way. I left a year, no, I left a year before her, something like that. And then I went to Cedar Valley to work, Cedar Valley all age school. And then I only spent a term there really at Cedar Valley all age school. Something was happening there that was repugnant to me, distasteful, and not something that you'd want to get tied up in.
I see.
And I only spent a term there and went back to Fonthill where I did less than a year there as a pre-trained teacher. While Pearline came out and she was at Wilmington.
Wilmington.
All right, so the correspondence continue because even before going to college, we usually write letters to and fro and so on.
So you met the love of your life from from basic school.
From elementary
Elementary school.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
From elementary school.
That's
right.
impressive. That's impressive.
Yes, from elementary school.
Yes. So you're at Cedar. You left
Yes.
Cedar Valley
Yes, to Fonthill.
to Fonthill.
But so during that time, I would visit Wilmington, and like a Sunday. And I should tell you that I walked, first time I went to Wilmington, I didn't know the way, although I belonged to St. Thomas. I walked 5 miles in the heat of the sun
Wow.
to get to her house at McGivan in Wilmington.
Yes.
5 miles.
5
5
miles.
miles. Right. And so after a while, I found out that there was a shorter route that was through Hermitage, Spring Garden Hermitage.
Yes.
And you walk across, and get down to Wilmington. But we usually visit each other, and well, I used to visit more, and she would provide the best dishes, that found out that I love rice and peas and chicken and this, and she prepared the best meal for me.
So is it true that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach?
Yes, is it true? It's a fact. I usually enjoy the meal, the cooking. Even now, although now I learned to even help to cook.
Right.
Yes. So it went on like that from I was at Fontil, but I decided that, well, I decided before leaving college that I would want to work in St. Thomas at least for a year because I had the I decided that I need to give my mother some financial help
Yes.
and to help to furnish the house and so forth. So I didn't want to go to anywhere that had expensive rent to pay and so on for the first year. So I did just that and help her and so forth. So after a year at Fontil, I decided to go into Kingston to work and to study. And so I went into Kingston and got a job at a primary school named St. Jude's Primary School, a Roman Catholic
Yes.
operated school. And I was there, but I was sort of adventurous then. I see other jobs advertised apart from teaching, and I applied for a job as a youth club organizer.
Okay.
And so I got a job to work with the Youth Development Agency in Clarendon. And I had a half of the parish to supervise youths, visit clubs and so on and so forth. And but after I was there for a while, the teaching bug hit me again, and especially after I'd bought a car and it let me down and so on. And the job I was doing in Clarendon, you have to have a car. I couldn't bother with it, and so I decided to go back in teaching. So I went to St. Mary to work at a place named Mount Wallingford.
Wallingford.
Wallingford Primary School. No, Wallingford Elementary School, and so forth and so on. So I was still corresponding with Pearline and so on and so forth. And I would visit, and now and again she would visit while there. And then in 1969, we decided, well, let us, tie the knot. And so we decided to get
Married.
married. But before that, before that, I should tell you that she was now working at Wilmington School, which was her alma mater. Yes. And so before we got married, I got a job at her school. So I left Wallingford. I got a job as principal. And so I went to Wilmington School to work. She was living on the hill, McGiven at the time. I was at the cottage, sparsely furnished. Because, you don't have money to spend to do certain things that you have to do. And so on. She was up there. But we decided we were going to marry in 1969, June. And so whatever money we had, we spent it
On the wedding.
on the wedding. So after we got married, June 7th, 1969.
So you recently celebrated your wedding anniversary.
Yes, certainly.
How many years now?
That's 52 years.
Wow!
52
Congratulations, sir.
years. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So after we got married now, we both moved into the cottage. So she was
Yes.
in the cottage. And I remember for a week or two before salary came again, I don't know, that cake The wedding cake.
Your wedding
The
cake.
nicest cake I've ever eaten.
The cake was that the regular black fruit cake?
I'm not so sure. Yes, it was a black cake, fruit cake. It wasn't the liquor
She
cake.
says, I hear her voice in the back there. She said yes.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, and it was the nicest cake. I, I I don't know if it's because we couldn't afford anything else much then.
Because, you spend
So
up the whole of the money.
so we had cake for lunch and cake for dinner. And in those days, you never had a fridge to put the cake in to store it,
Right.
So you have to use the top.
Yes, it don't last as long.
But she had some specialized skill in home economics, so she knew that she could keep it fresh by throwing wine on it
Yes,
now
keep
and
throwing the
again
wine
and
on
so
it.
on.
Yes, yes.
So we're having cake and so on until that payday comes on again and so forth.
Yes.
And so we were there at Wilmington. At the wedding, I remember saying I asked her at the anniversary if she remember what I said. And then I reminded her that I said to the the spectators that you see us here now. These were the exact words. You see us here now. But later on, you're going to see more than us. You're going to see some little usses.
Little usses.
Right.
Right.
Some little usses. And so we lived together to see that became a reality. So we had 4 little
Usses.
Right.
How many boys, how many
1
girls?
boy
And 3 girls.
and 3 girls.